Power 92. We are #1 in the streets.
Power 92, #1 in the streets. Your boy High Rod checking in, the lit pit in full effect, and it's feeling like 2018, 2019, but we kind of did this 2021. We snuck and did it. My brother Chance is in the building, man. Make some noise for Chance in the building right now, y'all. Y'all gonna make no noise for Chance?
They was on their phone. That's okay.
I'm about to send it up.
It's okay. No, it's all good. There's people. No, it's okay. Y'all gotta clap for me.
I think they just waiting. They trying to find out what's going on The Voice.
I'm just joking.
Hey, first off, man, welcome back to the station.
Thank you.
I already know you family.
I love coming up here.
I appreciate you, man. Everything you doing. Like you doing a lot, and we're gonna get into everything. But first off, I gotta check in with you, man. How the family doing?
Everybody's good, man. I was out of town for a little while. I don't even remember where we just was. We was in LA. We were finishing up The Voice. And so I just got back and got in a little bit of time with the girls. But yeah, everybody's healthy. Everybody's good. We're blessed.
Nice. And man, speaking of The Voice, I'm gonna get to that because I know everybody want to know about that.
The Voice.
Everybody want to know about it, but I got to talk about. We got to take it back, like, because you started this festival. And I'm talking about Black Star Line.
Yeah, the Black Star Line Fest.
Bro, please tell. First off, how did this even start? Like, what in your mind was like, you know what? I just want to go to Ghana. I want to tap in. You know, you've been into the arts. You know, you've been tapping in with artists. Like, what was that journey like? Let's talk about that. Like, how did you tap in with everybody?
It started at the end of 2021. I've been in Chicago most of the year. I mean, everybody was inside for a while, right after the pandemic, and I just wanted to like kind of get out and experience something new, just so I could like, use it to fuel my music and just my overall emotional being. Yeah. And I ended up going to link with Vic out in Ghana at the end of 2021, and like, or actually it was like maybe the 4th or 5th of January. It was the 6th. I now remember it was the 6th of January. And a year later, after landing in Ghana, we had put together a very large-scale concert in Ghana. And it came about just through, building relationships and community out there, going and, like, learning the history of, like, Ghana is still home to, like, one of the largest slave castles in West Africa. Like, a lot of our ancestors are from West Africa, and most of them are from Ghana. And it's a large. There's been a big movement of people going back to Ghana for repatriation and like learning their history and their roots and creating relationships back all the way since like the 20s, and really went wild in the 70s. But there was this president, Kwame Nkrumah, who founded Ghana in 1957 after they got independence from the British, and one of his biggest goals was creating that and strengthening that relationship between black folks from around the world. And so just learning about his life's work, and some of the the connections that it has to Pan-Africanism in the West over here with people like Marcus Garvey and W.E.B. Du Bois, made me just feel like I needed to continue some of that work, and one of the things that I know how to do is produce festivals, just because I've been doing it for a long time. Now, I never did an international festival, so it was crazy. Tough. I ain't gonna lie, it wasn't the easiest thing I ever did, but it was myself and Vic Mensa, a team of a bunch of people from the States, and largely a team from Ghana that helped it come into fruition. Yeah, and a lot of people from Chicago. Shout out to Brandy. Shout out to all the artists that came through too. Jeremiah, Erykah Badu, T-Pain.
How did you come up with that lineup? Like, was that like them like some of your favorite people? Like, oh, no, they gotta kick this off.
These are my closest friends and mentors. To be honest, like you got to realize it was a free concert, right? And we brought 52,000 people in there and made an experience that was enjoyable and safe with no sponsors. But like, if we had to
no sponsors.
Yeah, there were no sponsors for the Black Star Line.
I don't want to be a bit. How much did this cost?
It was a few million. But it was also like something that we that I really believed was an important experience for a lot of people to have. And after the way that Ghana blessed me, and the history of Ghana and the history of Pan-Africanism blessed me, I just felt like it was important to create the space. So it wasn't just in that concert that it was also like, there was a week of events that happened before that. Dave Chappelle spoke at the university. There was the Pan-African conference with a bunch of speakers. There was the skate event. There were so many things that went into work, and a lot of people prorated stuff for us too, like helped us get stuff for cheaper because they understood the mission. So it's the same thing with the artists. All those artists were the people that were willing to come and perform for this show in exchange for just, like flights and hotels and like, some swaps to play at people's concerts and stuff. But like all in all, these are the people that believed in the mission and wanted to be a part of it. So shout out to Eric Badu, shout out to T-Pain and Jeremiah and Toby and Wigwe and Dave Chappelle and all the Talib Kweli. There's so many people that came out and made it happen. And you had to be there, but like also that's the goal with it now is like we want to keep bringing this experience to different Black communities around the world and strengthen
like a 5-year plan of like, I know I saw you in Jamaica and you was meeting with the.
So we want to do Jamaica. That's what we're working on doing right now. And we've been meeting with the mayor of Kingston and members of parliament out there and talking to some of our artist friends. And it's a lot, like there is like a bit of there's like a little bit of like a stigma around traveling to Africa for so many Black Americans because so many of us had never been there. And a lot of our understanding of the space is really small and built on what we learned from the media. So it was tough for a lot of people to make it there. I mean, we still got to 52,000 people, and large percentage of those people were expats or Black Americans or Black Islanders. But like Jamaica is somewhere that a lot more people on the Western Hemisphere have already experienced or are familiar with in a different way. And so it's been a different response. A lot of people are a little bit, easier on the idea of it in Jamaica, but we're still going to see like what comes to pass. Cause like people say they're down and then you never know, but it's something that we building. But yeah, I know that I want to do Brazil. Brazil has the largest population of Black peoples or Africans outside of Africa. I want to do Ethiopia. Like that's the, that is original ancient civilization and society. And I obviously want to do something in the States eventually. I don't know where it might be in Chicago. It could be in New Orleans,
tour,
Atlanta. It could be anywhere. It could be
all the Black cities.
But we want to make sure that it's like the other thing is like the education around it, making sure that people understand the importance of like identity. Like everybody struggles with identity and finding community, and like what we should realize is that like it's not coincidence that we look alike. It's not coincidence that we have so many histories. Sometimes, inconsistent histories or conflicting histories, but like all these stories about where we're from and why we're here and what we've been through and the parallels and what we go through now as Black people or impoverished people or subjugated peoples around the world are all interconnected. And so creating more of an understanding and more of an advocacy for some of these communities that we're not familiar with or aren't engaged with consistently is super. It's like it's so important that we get to that sooner than later. I can't even like stress it enough. Like the time is now.
Was that like so? Was that your first time? So let's see, your first time going to Ghana. Did it like? I'm pretty sure it opened your eyes to a lot of stuff. Like and you didn't just stay there for like a day. You stayed there for like
I was there for 2 weeks the first time I went, and then I came back 5 more times between then and the concert. And
what did you learn from the community out there? 'Cause I know.
So like when I first got there, I wasn't going there to like go get the education. Like I was really going there to have a good time because Vic was posting hella videos of him in the club, and I'm like, that's how y'all coming in Ghana? Like you in the club every day? You don't even go to the club, Vic. Like, and he was just like, no, you got to come and see it. And so I came there, and on the first night I landed, we went and visited. As soon as I dropped my bags, first off, I found out the hotel that we were staying at was an art gallery. It's like a famous art gallery. It's a beautiful, huge hotel, but it's owned by a gallerist, and they like. It's hard to put into words how beautiful this space is, and like they got this cool gallery or whatever. But I'm like, okay, it's artsy here. And as soon as I put my bags down, they're like, yo, let's grab some food, then we're gonna go check out this artist studio, this other artist named. I didn't know what his name was at the time, but it turned out this guy, Amako Balfu, he's like one of the premier like visual contemporary artists in the world, but he's from Ghana, and he has a studio there where like a lot of the top artists from West Africa, from Senegal and Nigeria, all these other places come and kind of study under him in an informal way without like a contract or anything. But he's basically like, I don't even know a good way to put it, like a unproblematic Andy Warhol. Like it's like a I'm not signing you, but I'm trying to help you like hone your skills type stuff. And I got there and just met all these super dope artists, and this woman who ended up becoming one of my best friends, this lady Nyla Opianga, who actually had studied in Chicago at
the one that did the painting.
The one who did Child of God. So I met her at this artist studio the night that I dropped my bags, and over the course of like the next couple of weeks, like you gotta understand, like Vic is like he be moving around on the continent. So like I get there, I'm thinking I'm like staying with him, and in reality, he had hella plans, like for himself. like he went and did he just went and did a bunch of other stuff. Like he went to Togo and Benin, and was just like, he's just like, I'll see you later. Like he's just like dip on me basically, and
left you in the room.
But it was cool because the people that he was in community with are really good people and really good friends to me, and have been. And shout out to all of them. Shout out to Sandy and Amwako and Nyla and everybody that took us in. And I'm not naming everybody, but like there's so many people that was just like, it became like a second home over the course of that year. It was like really like
you was back in like
consistently. We had to study the space. It was like the way that God put it together, because we got to see like another large scale concert decided to have their concert in the same space as us like a couple months before. So I got to, go and look at that and see how certain stuff worked, and find, security companies, and like test out different sound packages, and like really just like soak it all in. Like, okay, this is where I'm gonna have my after party, and this is where we're gonna, do a t-shirt signing, and this is where we'll do a ticket giveaway, and this is the radio station, and this is the blah, blah, blah. Like it really took time and good friendships to like understand how to make. I've done a few free festivals in Chicago, a few like organized a few events that were free ticketed events, and those are like, they're to me my favorite kind, because the experience is invaluable then. But you also then have to like put so much more emphasis on security, and so much more emphasis on experience, food and water, the restrooms, like EMS, like so many different things like have to be heightened, because just because it's a free thing doesn't mean that like you throw anything to people. So like getting that time to be in the city of Accra and like, learn that the histories through the museums, through the government helped us out a lot in terms of like just connecting us with the museum, connecting us with the university. Like we got real love there, and we was really in the streets. Like we was still going out every night. Like we'll go meet with a bunch of people, put in the work, go visit a school, go do whatever, and then still go out, and then wake up early the next morning and go to a meeting. Like we was like, I don't know how we did it, and I'm so proud of us for doing it. Like to everybody, to my team, like it's one of like, like I don't remember prior to the Black Star Line anybody throwing a concert like on some like American hip hop. We throwing a concert where we want all Black people to come together. We're gonna meet me in Africa. Like I had never heard of it, and it sounded crazy at the time. But after it's done, then it's like, okay, how do we continue to build on that and stay cognizant of, the imprint that you leave? Because also like it's also not the move to just go into communities and just be like, oh, I'm finna turn y'all stuff up and mess up the GDP or the exchange rate of the money and like make it this big touristy thing and without like regard for the people that actually live there. So what we're doing is we coming into the space, we making sure people get paid, people get their jobs, get everything that they're supposed to get out of the situation, and then move to another community and do the same thing for them in a way that's like important and not like building something to be, I don't know a better word than like cash cow. Like, building sustainable things like
education over there.
That's the exact word. The most important part of everything that we're doing is like empowering the spaces that we're working with, so that when we leave, the university has higher visibility, the skate park has higher visibility, the artists that we work with have higher visibility, and everybody has a little more agency to say, I worked with Chance the Rapper, he paid me what I'm worth, and I know I could do it. Sorry, my phone's going off on the radio, but like that's not my ringtone. That's a
Somebody
different
at your
app.
house. Somebody walking past your
That's that ring on my, you know what I'm saying? I gotta keep watching. But one of the greatest experiences of my life.
You got a lot of people like traveling to Ghana, like you made it comfortable. Like I haven't been yet, and I definitely want to go, but I definitely want to experience this festival that you're throwing. Like it looked dope as hell. Like so I definitely want to applaud you on that. Definitely some stuff funny stuff that been catching my attention with you. I got to talk about Jimmy Fallon first off. You and these country.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, are we tapping into some a country lane? Because I could hear you doing a country song. Quiet as kept.
You know what I thought about doing recently? Because people really do love that, like, beyond the joke level of it, people are like, there's some real artistry going on with that country inspired Hot and Her remix that you did. Like, people are talking to me like it's a track that I made, like that I dropped.
Put it on iTunes, like you definitely could sell it.
I think I'll do if I was to do it, I want to do like a 4-song mixtape of like country inspired hip hop classics.
Drop it.
You know what I mean?
Drop
like,
it.
You know what I'm saying? Just put a twang on like, I don't even know.
T-Pain just did.
Pimpin'. He did do a crazy like 30s like doo-wop. Reese talk about it.
Wait, what's wrong with it, Reese? Hey, Snap don't stay with me though.
No, Reese fucks with it. Reese super fucks with this.
Oh yeah. Hey. So I'm not here right now. No, you in here. We might run it for you tonight. Total request with Reese. No, I thought that was super classic and super dope what you've been doing with Jimmy Fallon. And
no, thanks, man. I love Jimmy Fallon, man. He's a good friend, yo. And he's I don't know if he's gonna watch this Power 92 interview, but Jimmy Fallon, if you watching, G, you a real one. And he's always like nice to my kids. He remembers my mom. Like I've been going up there since probably like 2016 or 2016, 2015. Yeah. And like he was just always like, man, this guy's so artistic. Like, you know, like when somebody introduces you also when you're on TV, like it's kind of setting up the audience at home for like if they should like you or not. So like if they just be like, all right, Chance the Rapper, and like throw the record on the ground and people are like, I'm not really trying to listen to it. But he gives like a long like introduction. He's like, this guy is blah, 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 blah. And the people are so excited tonight. Like, I don't know. I'd be rewatching my Jimmy Fallon performances and I'd just be like, Jimmy's so excited that I'm on the show. No, I love it.
He definitely be lit with you. You done took over this show numerous of times.
A lot of times.
You are Chance, the radio personality tonight. So, we about to have some fun, man. First off, I got to talk about it. Acid Rap Tour.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah. We got to do it right. It's the 10-year anniversary of Acid Rap, that project. It changed my life. And I really was just reminiscing today that it's really the city that did it. Like thinking about all the people that was helping pass out CDs and like, you know what I'm saying? Like buying my posters and repping me at Lala and just doing like, you know, the city really, I attribute that project to being like a project that's by Chicago. So thank you, Chicago. And that's the reason why we're doing the United Center. And that's the reason why I got some tickets for you to give out.
Oh, you didn't say that.
This is Power 92.
Oh, there you go right there. So how we going to do this? Are we going We gonna do.
I'm
Can we do
gonna
a
give
free?
you the tickets. You gonna pick the winners, and then you figure out. Well, you can have people call. Or you
Can we do a free concert right now? Because Nathan's about to come in. Can we play
Where's
some acid
Nathan
rap? He about to walk in like about 5 minutes because for the Nathan Said 9 mix. So.
Oh, I see him on the security camera.
Hey, we about to have some fun right now, man. Chance is in the building. We are definitely talking. We probably gonna go. Can we go live? Can we go live so they can see you? And
Yeah, go live.
We're gonna go live on the Power 92 page right now. At Power 92 Chicago. Have some fun. Rock out with Chance. We about to do an acid rap takeover for the 9 o'clock hour. So y'all keep it locked. You know what it is, man. Your boy High Ride and Chance, the radio personality, right on Power 92. All right, so we left off with Jimmy Fallon, a good friend of yourself and the family. Now let's talk. I said there's a lot of funny stuff you've been doing lately. Jimmy Fallon is one. I don't know if people actually saw this, but it came across my Netflix. The movie Between Two Ferns.
Oh yeah. Zach Galifianakis.
Yes, hanging. I can't even say his name, but hanging with Zach.
Yeah.
How was that
Can't even
movie,
say
man?
his name. That was crazy. That was a fun little experience. I rock with Zach Galifianakis. Like, remember he was in the Hangover. But I don't know. I just always thought that dude was so funny. I remember he did like a stand-up special and he was playing the piano. He's just a crazy dude. But he's like, in real life, he's like really serious. He's like super, super Christian. Like super, super Christian.
Wait, did you know he's in the fraternity?
A Christian fraternity?
No, he's
He's a like Black Greek.
He's
right?
a Kappa.
He's a Kappa. I did know that. Yeah, he's a different kind of dude, man. Different kind of beast.
How many takes did it take for you on that scene right there? Like without you laughing.
It was a lot. We had a lot of fun. I love doing movies with people that let me just say stuff. Like that's why I love doing Southside. It's because like script is always funny, and it's like
so that
you
one's
gotta get a take.
your script. One Southside, one script.
It's like a. I forget how to describe it, but it's like they work off of a script and they script it really well. It's Diallo and Bashir and their whole team. Like it's amazing writers, but they kind of give you scene and you do a couple takes where you do the line as is, and then there'll be a bunch of takes where they'll give you throws. They'll throw you different things to say, and then also you get a bunch of takes where it's single camera, so it's like instead of like it's not like a sitcom where you have like you're in a studio and you have a certain amount of time on the deck and you're just like trying to get everybody's line across. It's more like you shoot it like a movie, like it's literally like handheld or on tripods where they're like, and you just do the scene over and over again, but you say funnier stuff every time.
That's hilarious. I know, and I know you super advocate for the Southside show.
Like, I love that show, man. I love those writers, man. Diallo and Bashir. Like I met them through Lil Rel. So Lil Rel really is how I got on Southside. I've known Rel since Get Out. So back in the day, when Get Out first came out, I got to see an early screener of the movie because Jordan Peele knew I was a big fan. So he asked me to come to like right before it came out, like maybe a month or two. Me and my friends went to go see it. Yeah. And after that, I was like, this is the best movie I've ever seen. Like, and a movie really is revolutionary. Like there were no movies like Get Out before it came out. Like a real comedy, horror, black intellectual film that was like on that level. And Lil Rel had a crazy, important role in the movie. And so him being from Chicago, when the movie came out, I rented out a bunch of theaters and had people go see the movie for free. And I had the cast fly in and surprise people at the 87th Street Theater. Yeah. And so me and Lil Rel became tight. I would go and see his shows all the time. And my brother Taylor put me on the South Side and was like, yo, you got to watch this show. It's about Chicago. It's like the first like real comedy about Black Chicago, because we have so many shows that are awesome, amazing shows, but they're all dramas. And this show isn't like so much based on trauma as it is like it talks about serious issues. It deals with mental health, with poverty, with like real stuff that we go through. But it's also like so funny, what I mean?
Chicago,
and it's like, so Chicago, and I saw the show and I was like, I hit up Rel and I was just like, yo, I just want to come by the set and meet them. And when I met them, I just told them like, yo, if you ever need me to do a cameo on the show, I'll do it. And I ended up getting that recurring role. But yeah, I everybody that works on the show is all, from Chicago. Like the whole makeup and wardrobe department, all the actors, all the writers, like everybody from the show is somebody that went to King or went to Simeon, and so it's like you go there and first of all, always end up knowing somebody on set from like my real life. And then also like you feel like that real energy of like, this is a family made thing. Like his wife is, you know, plays his partner. That's the cop on the show. Like his sister is plays a role at the repo service. Like his brother is the star of the show. Like it's really like a family team. And they still got that other show, Sherman Showcase, which is also amazing. And that's on I think that's on Hulu. But like, I can't wait for them to make another Chicago show, like another real Chicago show. Like
It's
I'm
crazy
excited.
watching that show and watching Southside, then driving down 87 and like Vincent and looking at that house where they had like the possums and it.
That was a crazy episode.
I look at that house.
That's about
now.
black entrepreneurship. Like they really like, you gotta like look at the episodes, watch it twice. Like you laugh and then you see it.
As much as I look at that house and I grew up like around there, I'm like, man, that made me look at that house like, low key, it's probably for some possums.
Making possum coats in there.
That's funny. Oh man. All right, so let's get to the show, The Voice.
The Voice.
Man, tell us about The Voice, man. How did you get in on this, and what made you accept this? Like, you know, I want to.
I mean, it's a crazy thing. So when I first heard the idea to do it, I was kind of like, really, they want me to do this show? Like, I'm not I consider myself a singer, but I'm not a vocalist, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not a trained person who, you know, studied or perfected their craft in singing and knowing music. But I like to sing. Everybody likes to sing. If you sing in the shower, I think you a singer. You know what I mean? But I'm not a singer. You know what I mean? So I basically was kind of just like, it wasn't that I ever didn't want to do the show. Like I knew like, you know, the show brings in 10 million plus viewers every week just in the United States, and then syndicated to like every country. So I know it's like, you know, huge audience, and wherever I get on TV or anywhere, I just do my thing. I'll be myself. So like, I know that I'm a shine in it, but I'm still kind of like, am I supposed to be in this space? You know what I mean? And when I got there, I did my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the coolest part about it, was I didn't know, because when I did the show, I always say the show, when I did Rhythm and Flow, you know, me, Cardi, and Tip were executive producers, so we got a lot more say in what the show was. And it was also the first time, not only the first time that this show was being made, as in it was like a season 1, but also the first time Netflix had did something like this. And so we got a lot of, and also obviously this is Jesse Collins' show, so shout out to Jesse Collins Entertainment for the idea. Come on in, Nathan.
Man, you don't work here or something.
I was just telling the origin story of Netflix. No, but basically, long story short, like the doing Rhythm and Flow was so different, because it was awesome because we were getting to make it kind of up as we went along, but also like it was the traditions that exist in The Voice are proved perfect, and they, you know, it's something that had more time to grow. So one thing that I wish we had did more at Netflix, even though I feel like we gave them a great opportunity, nobody got signed, like they got cash in their pocket. Like, even though we were able to do a lot of things well, one thing I wish that we did better with the show was being able to have real relationships with the artists on the show. And The Voice really is that. Like, they don't call them judges, they call us coaches on the show, because you really get to like work with the artists and pick their mind, find out what their inspirations is, and like build new arrangements of old songs to best platform them to show off their talent. Like, the show is really their show. It's not so much about who's famous already that's like a judge, but it's really about like showing who these people are through music, through telling their background story, through getting to actually know them. And I'll tell them that every time when we would do like a rehearsal or whatever, I'd be like,